Well then, what's the matter? I've lost my hat. No, you haven't. It's right there on your head. That's my hat, Thomas. Oh. You need a trim then. This is not funny. My sister gave me that hat. I've got to go. Oh, that's to look. Well then, I'll help you look. Your eyeballs are floating in here. If I let you help, I'm liable to go home with a dead cat. You'll learn as soon as I find it. All right then. Hurry back. It's almost... Well, it's almost tomorrow. Good evening, John.
Nigel Adam.
Yes.
Holmes is an amateur armchair detective. I will admit he possesses extraordinary tenacity and shows some promise.
He promises to run circles around you and every other old dog at Scotland Yard.
But I see no need to consult him on a simple case of debt collection.
That's your take on it, then.
Oh, it's all very plain to me. Our John Doe left the pub, probably somewhat impaired. He was accosted here by two, more likely three men, strong arms to the man's gambling agent or someone else who he owes money. On finding that he had drunk his wages for the week, they persuaded him to visit their employer. It is very likely that after an unpleasant day or so, you will find yourself in the streets once again, though considerably lighter in the purse.
Lighter on the head. What do you make of this?
I make it to be a hat.
But don't you wish to examine it?
Unless there's a name in the lining, it's of no use to me.
But it might furnish a clue.
You have been spending too much time with Sherlock Holmes. Keep the hat, Gregson. Perhaps if you put it on, the clues will drain out of it and soak into your head. No, I have my story, and I'll stand by it. You'll see that time will bear me out.
You seem awfully confident.
Experience, Gregson, experience. Someday you'll know what I mean. You don't mind finishing up here now, do you?
Not at all.
Thank you. I have some details to attend to in the Williamson murder case.
Well, have you talked to the stable boy?
3 days ago. Good morning, Gregson.
Morning, Inspector.
The Adler job is done, sir. Went off clean as a whistle. He was stumbling drunk. Didn't give us no trouble.
That's good, Stimson. Very good. How many jobs is that for you now?
Bless you, sir, that makes 5. All of them just like you asked.
Splendid. What is that on your shirt, Stimson?
This, sir. A bit of blood, looks like.
Yours or his?
Well, his, I suppose. This one here is curry mutton.
I gave strict orders, I believe, that he was not to be physically harmed.
Yes, sir. We only need to get advantage of him, sir. After that, we handle materials of feather.
Very well. Mistakes do happen. Benjamin will see to it that you are paid. That will be all, Stimson.
Yes, sir. It won't happen again, sir.
I know.
From this way, Gibson.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
I hate curry mutton.
On my honor, Professor. It pains me to do that to someone like Stimson.
Yes, Benjamin, but you know my rules. No one can follow where there is no trail. It's simply business.
Bad business, Professor.
Yes, it is, Benjamin. Bad business, indeed. The world is cruel, and life is hard. You find your way, or you're discarded. You're born into it. You live your life. Some get a silver spoon, and some get a knife. A child, reclusive, a childhood cold, abusive, a genius, a scholar, a future planned. But there were dreams, and there were voices that he alone could understand. You take the cards you're dealt. You take or make a chance. You add a little guile and it'll
before I made it that far. But I've been told you've been at this for nearly a week. When you proposed to finish this mess.
I am cross-referencing my indices. Thorough work. Takes time.
Oh, please hurry. Any day now, I'm liable to fall into Q and I'll find my way out again.
Oh, well, if you propose to get lost, can I fall into W so I can look you up when I need you?
I believe you've dripped a bit of sarcasm on your dressing gown. Good day, gentlemen. I hope I haven't disturbed you.
Not at all. Watson and I were just discussing the state of my indices. If you care, breakfast, Inspector. Mrs. Hudson's excellent muffins are at your disposal.
No, thank you. We'll have some tea.
So, Gregson, you and Lestrade are at odds over a case, and you've come all the way from the waterfront district to consult me about this hat.
Has Lestrade been here? Thank you. Then how could you... Well, Mr. Holmes, I begin to believe that you are a sorcerer.
My dear Gregson, if I were, it would save me a great deal of shoe leather and shag tobacco. No, Inspector? I'm afraid I must resort more to methods of the
Well, you're right as usual, though I can't quite see how you figured it.
Watson,
I must confess that I am in the dark as well.
very well. You've obviously been out all morning, because your shirt bears none of the coffee stains with which you decorate yourself when you sit at your desk. You carry your notebook in your coat pocket, and I observed as you sat down that it is opened, which indicates to me that you are actively involved in a case. I perceive upon your boots a peculiar bluish-grey stain, which can only come from the claimant streets around the waterfront. Elementary. This hat is clearly not your own, and as most of us are not in the habit of carrying other people's headgear, it stands to reason that it bears in the matter of hand.
But Lestrade, how do you know that?
The right corner of your lower lip, swollen. You've not been in a fight, and the area is not bruised. From that I deduce you've been biting your lip. And the only time I've seen you display this nervous habit is when you and Lestrade are butting heads. Recall our little adventure of the study in Scarlet.
Yes, I remember that. Well, I appreciate the explanation, Mr. Holmes. It's comforting to know you're as mortal as the rest of us.
Watson, the next time I open my mouth to explain myself, you have my permission to insert a sliver into it.
Would you care to sign a statement to that effect?
No. Now, Gregson, tell us why you are here and what this has to do with us.
On the face of it, it's just a street fight. And though I've not been long in the force, I feel I've got an instinct. And my instinct tells me there's more to this than meets the eye.
Pray be precise as to details.
It happened around 1 o'clock near as I can make it. No witnesses, though some locals heard the sound. Our man found the hat around 6 and sealed off the area before traffic got ahead. I know your methods, Mr. Holmes, and I tried to apply them. There were scuff marks and blood stains.
Were all the marks from the same boot?
They appear to be...
That is important. It tells us that someone was struggling to escape, which means that there were probably 2 others holding him.
3 if they had a lookout. The scuff marks began in the road and ended abruptly just before the curve.
It's likely when the victim lost consciousness.
Oh, word.
And the blood thickens.
Most of them were small, with the exception of 3 rather large areas which occurred some yards apart.
Likely discharge from the nose. Clearly, the victim received some powerful blows to the face, and the discharge is every beat. This is no time for eating, Watson.
No, it isn't.
At any rate, it's clear enough what happened. Let's see if this hat can tell us who or why.
Yes, but does the hat belong to the victors or the vanquished?
No way to tell, Watson. Though with 3 men on one side and 1 on the other, it's likely enough to set that off.
No doubt you're right, Mr. Holmes. I know you read things the way others read newspapers, so I brought it round for you.
Well, aside from the obvious facts, that the man is young, dark hair, had recently met with success in his work, is somewhat cocky and careless in his personal habits, yet attentive to his appearance. I cannot offer you much.
I take back what I said about your mortality, Mr. Holmes.
Sir Watson, I am indeed not. Has Lestrade formed an opinion?
He thinks the man owed someone money, and they came around to collect it. He didn't think the hat to be of importance.
He has the tenacity of a bulldog and the forethought of a rock.
Pardon me. Do you have a visitor?
Who is it, Mrs. Hudson? I'm rather busy just now.
An old schoolmate of yours, apparently. Didn't give a name. Chemistry partner. I think I'd better send this one up.
Very well, Miss Hudson. Send him up.
I don't mean to be rude, but we're in the middle of some very serious business. This is hardly the time to be reminiscing over schoolmates and chemical.
Sherlock Holmes.
Elizabeth Adler.
Mother Mary.
reasons I asked your landlady not to give my name. I wanted to surprise you.
You succeeded.
Hello, we're the other people in the room.
Elizabeth Adler, may I introduce my friend and colleague, Dr. Watson, and Inspector Gregson of Scotland Yard.
How do you do? I'm very pleased to meet you, Dr. Watson. I must say you and Sherlock, you and Mr. Holmes, have earned a considerable reputation. You two must share quite the adventurous life.
Well, I do try to minimize my own role, though we have had our share of adventures. And you have Holmes to thank for more than a few grey hairs.
Look! There's another one.
Pray, take a seat, Miss Adler.
Thank you. It's been a long time.
It has. To what do I owe the honor?
It's my brother Knight. He's missing.
Indeed. May I ask how long he's been gone?
Since last night.
Well, I must say, the matter of hours hardly constitutes...
Oh, he hasn't the trouble, I know. We're very close, and I can sense that something has gone wrong. We share lodgings, and he did not return home last night. We were to shop for Mother's birthday present this afternoon.
Could he not have been detained or met up with an acquaintance?
He would have cabled to let me know.
Did your brother have any enemies?
None to my knowledge. He started in a position only too long ago.
What sort of position?
With the Foreign Office. His primary duties were translating for visiting dignitaries, but he did bring home treaties and other official documents to translate as well. His hat!
I beg your pardon.
Nigel's hat! This is the very hat I gave him for his birthday last November. How come the police will have it? Leave, I beg you to be frank with me. If my brother's in some kind of danger, I have a right to know.
Very well then, I will be frank. The hat was found early this morning. There is every indication that your brother has been taken against his will.
Then you can consider your services retained to bring him back. But who would want to harm Nigel?
I cannot say as yet, but I think it is likely you will see your brother within 3 days.
Mr. Holmes, how can you be certain?
I did not say I was certain, Inspector. I said just likely.
And what do I do?
Nothing. It may be that I will need you to provide more information. Dr. Watson will escort you out. Just let him know where you can be reached. Until then, try not to worry. The matter is now.
Miss Adler,
Yes, miss.
is your brother, by chance, dark-headed?
Yes?
And he recently enjoyed success at work?
Why, yes. His position is a considerable promotion.
Just one more thing, if you'll forgive my asking. Is your brother somewhat careless in his personal habits?
Well, yes, Inspector. Nigel's rooms at home are nearly intolerable. So you never know what he makes over how he looks. But how did you come to know these things? Good evening. Something that seems like something
deep as ever.
It might be strange when they never end.
And yet I can't help but wonder. Nothing more than a bleak December.
Nothing more than a lost end. He's trying so hard to remember evermore. It was
The beginning and it was the end. Nothing more than my destiny that I suppose I impossible choices nothing more than a crying ember. Nothing more than a leaf in the wind. We've long since moved on from memory. Nothing more, just a beginning.
just a beginning.
It was a beginning, but was it the
Hello.
Hello.
Did you lose something?
My best friend, Harold.
Oh. Well, then I'll have to look for him.
Thank you very much.
Does he come to call you?
Sometimes.
All right, then.
Harold! Harold! Hey, Harold! Harold!
What are you looking for?
A frog.
Oh,
I give up. He's lost.
don't be sad. You'll find another one.
Best friends don't grow on trees, you know.
My name's Elizabeth. What's yours?
Cricket.
That's a very nice name.
I like it. Did you lose something too?
Yes.
Your best friend?
No, my brother.
I lost mine too. A long time ago. And there's lots of things. Is Mr. Holmes up when you look?
You know Mr. Holmes?
Sure, I'm from the Baker Street on Regulars. You ever heard of him? Well, you will. If Mr. Holmes is helping you, we're helping you. Well, they're helping you.
What's the matter?
Nothing. Where is Alan?
Oh, come on, Cricket. What's that?
Wiggins and the others don't have help much. Wiggins says it's on account of I'm smaller and might get hurt. But I think it's because I mixed him in foot racing.
Did you?
I sure did, and he didn't let me win either. What's so funny? I can dodge and I can run. I can up the people and keep my ear to the ground. Are we really friends now?
Certainly.
Best friends?
Sure, if you'd like.
Do you know where your mom and dad are?
Well, yes.
I don't. I think I lost mine.
Maybe he's just trying to protect you. Maybe we can care about you. He doesn't want to see you get hurt.
Maybe. Didn't think about it like that. Are you and Mr. Holmes friends?
Oh, we were years ago.
They're not anymore.
No, not like we used to be.
Why?
Well, we were younger, and at the time of life when people have to choose a path they want to follow. He chose a path that only had room for one.
Were you sad?
Why? Well, I know why my son is
Don't know. Because I act, I suppose.
I suppose. Promise not to be hurt.
Now, Lou, nobody listens to me anyway.
Oh, I do. Why does he? Perhaps I'll see you again soon.
Perhaps.
Indeed, Gregson.
Well, raising her hopes like that? How can you know her brother will be found within 3 days?
You know me well enough to know, Gregson, that I don't make a statement like that unless I believe it to be true.
I suppose so. Still, you must see a good deal deeper than the rest of us to say it. Well, the aunt's expecting me. I'll wire with any fresh developments. Good day, gentlemen.
Holmes, I'm inclined to agree with Gregson this time. What on earth were you thinking telling Miss Adler such things?
Watson, if I told you what I was thinking during that particular split second, you would be dizzy. Kindly pull my dates at the Times from April 6th of last year. Look up Stamford Billings.
So, who was she?
Who was whom?
You know very well.
You? Oh, that's Elizabeth Adler. She's our new client. What will be attention?
I was, and so were you. I've never seen you look at any woman that way before, Holmes. Come on now. Who was she?
Elizabeth and I were friends when I was at the university. We were introduced by a mutual acquaintance who thought our mutual interest in chemistry might prove to be fertile breeding ground. Gertrude did not offer chemistry studies, so she often assisted me with mine. Beyond scholastics, she proved to be not only intelligent, but a very unique woman in her own right. We were very close.
Well, what happened?
Well, even then I knew the direction my life was to take. I was to be a scientist, a reasoner, a thinker. I'd be seeking out danger and deliberately placing myself in it. It was no life to ask a lady to share.
Would she have shared it with you?
I believe she would if I had asked her. We discussed it once. But I could not let emotion affect the direction my life was taking. My calling was strong. I could not ignore it.
Would it have to be ignored?
It would have to be compromised. That was equally unacceptable.
Were you in love with her? for fun. Yes, I suppose you did. April 6, 1887. Stanford Billings, an employee of the Foreign Commerce Office, has been found. Readers will recall that Billings disappeared on April 3rd. His wife reported him missing after not returning home from a local pub. After 2 days of searching by local police, Billings was found last night, April 5th, wandering the Waterfront district in a drunken stupor. He is unable to recall his whereabouts for the past 2 days. As police find no suspicion of foul play, and Billings seems unharmed, the case is considered closed.
And if you were to look further, Watson, you'd find that a few months later, in August, a Mr. Frederick Fuller of the International Affairs Office disappeared under similar circumstances. He was found after 3 days. But an apparent attack of brain fever had eclipsed his memory. There were 2 other similar cases within the past year and a half, but I believe you get the idea.
And you believe this case is related?
Well, the parallels are uncanny, Watson. I'd bet your practice on it. There's something at work here that's greater than anyone realizes.
But you have a suspicion.
I do, and it would remain at that until I could justify my hypothesis.
Calling for a cab, Holmes?
No, Watson, I'm calling the Baker Street Division of the unofficial police force.
Oh, that's a bit irregular, isn't it?
Oh, my dear Watson, it is the irregulars I am calling.
And what's wrong with the pants you got?
Yeah, I thought it was kind of vulnerable. I ain't changed it in 2 weeks.
You're very funny, Tommy. I'm going to sell these parts, and you're going to be making fun when I'm holding the money.
Certainly will. Yeah. And then I'll beat you up and steal it.
Where'd you get them from?
I'll forecast on the Charlie by the window line.
Oh, you're drunk and gone for an hour.
I'm laying up to go to the fire.
He's way off and I thought he'd selling you his pants.
Well, he didn't expect to sell them.
What? He gave them?
No. Wait. He sort of... He fell asleep in them.
Oh, Christ, that ain't always got him. Get him off.
Hey, grab your boat, mister!
No, thank you.
Penny ball match. She's never been late. See?
I don't think so.
If we now get fair enough.
Well, here now, that's no way to treat a fellow.
We don't give our hard-earned money to shiftless mudlarks.
Why, don't I?
Agent Rachel, don't waste a good romance. Mudlark says, is that what you take us for? Scavengers and thieves?
Well, if you're not, then why aren't you in school yet?
School? Oh, school! We don't go to school. We work for our living, same as you.
What? You?
That's right. We're the Baker Street Irregulars.
Indeed. Highly irregular. Come here.
See that couple there? Noses in the air. Every time it rains, they nearly drown. Studio the classic.
Don't keep fall right on your asses.
They strut about as if they're wearing crowns. You might think we're just a pile of misfits. Can't you see we're just misunderstood? Don't you try and change us now, 'cause even if you could, it wouldn't do us any good to be like you. They're the silent game, strong as it can be. Got a mademoiselle in every square. What a find what they did, 'cause they don't know it's business. Just give it out, and
But let's make it clear, is there something in your ear? We're not like you! It's good to be home, dear. I know dinner on the train here.
May I offer you a glass full of tea?
Too long for me. I know whatever I want to be the seasoned debutante. Who cares? It's just I don't fancy it. I swear, if it was up to me, then they could all go straight to heaven. No, the straw. You might call this laziness, but we'll call it a quirk. It's just too much blue and white to be like you.
I followed the lady like you said, Professor. She went to Baker Street straight away.
Thank you, Samuels. That will be all.
Yes, sir, Professor.
Baker Street. 7. It begins. So it begins. The winds are changing. It chills my soul. And I feel strangely aware. He's there. I feel a shiver of fear. He's near, delivered unto me. Could it be Sherlock Holmes coming after me? This is better than a witch. So little time, so many choices. And in my head, so many voices, and on the wall, I hear them all. The martyr I could be, if London understood me. The money, the city, and poverty giddy. I want it, I'll take it all, and then I'll make him fall before me on his knees. A twist of fate, and now I can see. I'll set the bait, and he'll come to me. All I've planned for, I understand more. Why I'm here now, becoming clear now. I feel like I've just come alive. One chance now, don't waste it. It's so close I can taste it. The feeling of power. This is my finest hour. Sherlock Holmes will cower before me.
You know what you're listening for? Report to me the instant you hear something.
Right. Where are we off to now, Holmes?
I am going to the scene of the crime. You will get to Miss Adler and meet me there to be able to ask you some questions. Stop at the yard and send for Gregson and Lestrade along the way. Come, Watson. The game is afoot.
So, based on the previous instances, it seems that your brother's situation will follow the pattern.
Oh, do you really believe that, Master?
I have learned that if Holmes says something will happen, it generally does. He's hot on a scent now, though I can't for the life of me figure out what it is. He's a man transformed at a time like this.
Go on and reflect.
He becomes almost superhuman. He sees what we see, hears what we hear, but yet reads so much more that it almost isn't natural. His senses seem to rise to the level of intuition. His energy is limitless. I truly feel sorry for anyone he sets himself to hunt down.
He is an extraordinary man.
Indeed he is, Miss Anna.
Dr. Watson,
Yes.
has he told you about me?
What a lovely evening it is.
I thought, what did he tell you?
Hold up the lamppost!
Doctor!
He told me very little. That you were close and then that you weren't.
Oh, it can be very difficult sometimes.
Try living with him. Oh, sorry.
When I walked in that room, he acted as we never met before.
You are a client now, and that makes things different. I suppose it has been a very long time.
I don't know what to feel. I'm worried to death about Marjorie. I was scared to come to shore, but I knew he was the one man who could help me.
Indeed he will. No matter what else he is feeling, he will honor his...
In my heart, I know that. I do wonder whatever else he is feeling.
It's no use, Professor. The elder boy still won't talk. And I'm trying to say everything.
What do you mean, Benjamin? You haven't hit him.
Well, no, sir. Just shook him around a little.
I strictly forbid violent contact with any of our guests. If he develops any more bruises he can't explain, the police will begin to get suspicious. Out of my way, you fool. I'll handle this myself. Hello, Mr. Radler. How are we this evening? Now, that simply won't do. My associates tell me you aren't being very cooperative. I was so hoping I would not have to bring your sister into the situation.
You leave Elizabeth out of this.
No, she's already in it, up to her pretty neck, dear boy. And if you want to say both of yours, you'll tell me exactly what I want to know.
But I don't know anything about the naval blockade. No one even knows if it's going to happen.
Oh, it's going to happen, Mr. Adler. Of that, I am certain. And several worried countries will pay dearly to know where and when. And I plan to tell them.
But I told you, I don't know.
But you know where the plans are kept. You know in which building, and which office, and which floor. And once you tell me that, I will take care of the rest. Such a pretty girl, Elizabeth. Easy, you idiot. Now, Mr. Adler, such violent behavior won't do your sister any good at all. There now. That wasn't so difficult, was it?
Giving you what you want. Let me go and don't harm Elizabeth, I swear. Hey.
I know you won't, boy, because you won't remember a thing. Is there a problem? Well, then perhaps you can remind me who lost all of his belongings on a voyage from America to England.
I did.
And who received my financial assistance to set up a promising new practice in his new country.
I did, Professor.
And who, when that practice failed, found himself completely indebted to me if he wants his wife and children to remain free from unfortunate accidents.
I did, Professor.
Thank you. I never tire of that story. Forgive the interruption. Doctor, you may proceed. Now then, my boy,
I'll doubt it.
Well, Mr. Sherlock Holmes, have we missed anything?
Only everything of importance, Lestrade. Other than that, no. You should advise your men to look for two chaps. I suspect that you will find them lurking about in the pubs on the other end of town, if they're still alive. Further, I'd advise abandoning your search for a disgruntled bookie. You're wasting your time.
Is that so? Well, Mr. Know-it-all, it just so happens that Mr. Nigel Adler lost a good amount at the horse races last week. That's a fine lead, and if you don't mind, I believe I'll follow it.
As you wish, Lestrade. Gregson?
I will begin checking the pubs immediately.
That's fine, Gregson. Go on and chase your wild geese. I'm off to net the big fish.
You've chosen wisely, Gregson. You may find that the fish we're after will require a bigger net than you ever imagined.
Sure. Do you really think Nigel will return safely?
Yes, I do.
Oh, you have done my heart on. Don't know how to thank you.
You needn't, Miss Adler. Watson, please take the lady home.
Holmes, I thought perhaps you might discuss the case over there, the three of us.
I don't have time to waste on casual conversation, Watson. Take Miss Adler home, then return to Baker Street. I'll be waiting. Do you need a cab?
No.
Please. Go home.
I wouldn't have anyone else to turn to, Sherlock. Between the two all right, wherever you.
I don't think you want to stay with me anyway. Sometimes when I lose things, I wish I never had him to begin with. Then I wouldn't miss him so much.
I know.
That's very pretty. Did your mom and dad give it to you?
Actually, Mr. Holmes gave it to me.
For your birthday?
For our anniversary. We've known each other 6 months when he gave it to me. He said I would always have his heart. It turned out he didn't have it very long.
He took it back.
No, dear. We decided not to give it after all.
But she got to keep the locket. That's nice. Did Mr. Holmes make you cry?
Not on purpose, dear.
Maybe he's just trying to protect you. Maybe Mr. Holmes cares about you and doesn't want you to get hurt.
Are you sure you're not a grown-up?
No, I don't think I want to be.
You don't. Sometimes it isn't any fun. Now, forgive me. You have a place to stay.
There's always someplace to stay.
Our guest room is very comfortable.
I'll be all right. Thank you.
You are one very special young lady, Cricket.
You're very special, too. And a lady. And young.
Yeah, that's what I like in a best friend. Good night, Cricket.
Good night, Elizabeth.
Working on some experiments, eh, Holmes? Something to do with the Adler case, I expect? The house is on fire. There go the curtains up in flames. Confounded Holmes, are you hearing me at all?
Unfortunately, Watson, yes.
Don't you think you were a little harsh with Miss Adler?
No. Why?
Well, I simply think the lady was trying to show a little respect, and I might say affection.
Watson, we have discussed this before. You know my feelings when it comes to feelings. Love is a frivolous emotion. It serves only to soften the mind and divert one from one's true purpose.
What is in those fumes, Holmes? Do you hear what you're saying? Man can't live without love. Without love, the world is a cold, hard place. Man needs warmth, care, companionship.
If I want that, I'll get a dog.
Damn it, man! Someone cares about you. You threw it all away once. For God's sake, think before you do something so stupid again.
I've lived without emotion. The traveler's heart protected me. I would not allow it. Still, somehow it's affected me. I have always been the master Watson. Watson. Oh, dear.
I should get an honorary medical degree and practically run a hospital around here half the time.
Where did you find him?
Down by the river. It looked like he lost someone, or like someone lost him. So I found him. Can I go?
Yes, you may go.
Cricket. Thanks. Can I go?
Yes, so you may go too.
Wasn't anyone going to thank me?
Thank you, Mrs. Hudson. So, you cannot remember where you have been or who you have been with for the past 2 days?
No, I'm trying to remember, but my head hurt.
Looks like your arm should hurt too. Any idea how you came by these bruises?
No, I must have fallen.
Nonsense. Watson, look at the pattern. What does it tell you?
By Jove, Holmes, these were made by a man's hand.
Exactly. Mr. Adler, you have been cruelly used.
But that's impossible. I would remember. I know I would.
Of course you would remember, unless... Mr. Adler, would you consent to having blood drawn?
I suppose so, but why?
But to test a theory, it's a long shot, no doubt, but it's the only one which covers the facts.
Holmes, look what I found.
A needle mark.
Yes.
How did you know? Let me draw the blood box in.
My wrist's just a sweet silver. Hey, now you wasn't thinking I'd deliver the goods right down the bar now, was ya?
For half a shilling, you bloody off too.
For half a shilling, you're bloody lucky I'm drunk. Come on then, I'm hungry. You want something to eat?
Well, now that you mention it, I could go for a bit of talk.
That made me sick. I told you to pinch your nose. I did. It's what is pinched that's making me sick.
Let's go. What do you want?
We're here for a talk. Ow! What I say?
We don't want nothing, sir. Just a couple of shiftabouts, lurking, not being noticed, overhearing conversations. We'll just be on our way. Unless, of course, we could be of use.
Use, eh? Come here.
Get that bottle, would you?
What time is it?
Very late. Very early. You don't think?
Have I been sleepy?
Yes, and you snore.
Sorry, when did we get married?
Come to find you what you ordered, sir.
Excellent, Wiggins. What have you to report?
We was at the Wars Crown pub and a fellow stopped us, and he says to me, actually, said it's about the box. Anyhow, he says, how do you boys like to earn a copper? And I says, nothing but, I think he said farthing. And you know what farthing rhymes with? Shut my gap. So he says, of course we would. And he says, all we have to do is listen to anyone who sounds like they work for the government. He told us to listen for talk about treaties. Agreements.
Plan!
Just like you said, Miss Holmes.
Well done, boys. Very well done. And in the future, all of you will report to Wiggins, who will wash his feet and report to me. Mrs. Hudson will have fits when she sees this rug. Now then, there's a farthing to divide between you. Lay low and be ready in case I should need you.
Yes, Mr. Amos.
Mr. Holmes,
Yes, it is.
can we keep the copper?
Yes, we did, you may.
Blimey, boys. Best day we had all year.
You seem to be in good spirits, Holmes. I trust your experiments are going better.
Well, that depends upon your definition of better, Watson. I have had a productive night. My experiments have been a success, but have only served to realize my worst fear, which is that these men did not simply forget what happened to them. Their memory was altered by criminal means. Holmes, it's a complicated formula, Watson. No fewer than 7 distinct chemicals and 2 different reacting agents. It has taken me an entire night and a pouch of your best tobacco to identify them. It's genius, Watson. These men are kidnapped, their secrets extracted, and then they're injected with this serum that erases their memory of the experience. But who would do such a thing? I can name a dozen men who would do it, Watson. But only one who is capable of it. Moriarty. But why? Think of it, Watson. Piece by piece, he acquires knowledge of the most intimate affairs of state. And he does it under the nose of the entire British government. Moriarty's a patient man, Watson. He has time. He will wait until he has all he needs to bring down an entire country. You would be in a better position to rule an anarchy. Nearly all the criminals in London already work for him, and Scotland Yard doesn't suspect a thing. That's the genius of it, Watson. I suspect at this very moment he is sitting at the center of his web, feeling every quiver, knowing I am on his track. The game begins to get very dangerous, Watson. What will you do? I need proof of Moriarty's involvement before a jury can convict him.
But how? You said the chemical makes the victims forget.
It does, Watson. But where there's a poison, there can be an antidote. I will find it. Ava is still fresh. If we can bring back enough of his memory to implicate Moriarty, we can bring down his entire organization, and him with it.
But Holmes, the odds. Think of what you're up against. You are only one man.
Yes, Watson, I am. But so is he. How much do you know about foreign policy, Doctor?
Next to nothing.
Well, you have 15 hours to learn everything you can.
What happens in 15 hours?
We, my dear Watson, are going to be kidnapped.
And home was his castle. Anymore. We sleep on shattered windows and sweet pools of blood from the floor.
If you got it rough, money makes you tough. Money ain't enough to be like you.
The fighting a losing battle, but we won't lose the war.
Out here it's not easy to make it on your own. When you try, you look inside and find you've grown and you are
In the darkness, you're a hero. Afraid that you're up for a fight. Put on your facade, go out and play God, till they find out your behavior isn't quite that of a savior after all. After all.
discover that antidote. As will I. The brigands and policemen are back on the prowl. If we don't do something now, there'll be more innocent victims. Not to mention our secrets compromised.
Will City Buster become the next 2 innocent victims?
I gave it to Gregson. He should be here before long. If we can stall long enough to establish a conspiracy, Gregson can take the whole lot into custody. That will buy me enough time to finish the antidote, restore Adler's memory, and bring Moriarty down.
Yes, well, I just think we're cutting it off the cliff.
Barkeeper, 2 of your finest beers.
That's right. 2 of your finest beers for 2 of the finest workers the Foreign Office has ever seen.
Foreign Office? You don't look like you work for the Foreign Office.
These are our casual clothes. Got a problem with that?
No, not at all, mate. Just interested, that's all.
Interested in what?
Oh, you know. Foreign policy and all that.
Keep up with international affairs, do you?
Well, sure. Every right-minded citizen ought to. Say, what branch of foreign government is you into, anyway?
Oh, you know, translating plans, bombarding countries, spying on the Queen. I've been translating the plans to bombard the countries who spy on the Queen.
Sounds awful important.
Oh, it is. If I told you all the secrets we knew, it would make your head spin.
If you told him any secrets, your head would spin.
Secrets, eh? Tell you what, gentlemen, this one's on the house.
Excuse me, mister. We couldn't help overhearing that you work in the Foreign Office.
Oh, it seems to me you were listening awfully hard to overhear that.
It seems to me I'm talking to your friend here, not you.
It seems to me I need to go to the WC. Or I could just have it.
Now, why don't you just drink and leave us to our conversation?
Well, how about we just drink and you just leave us?
You're an awfully smart one. How'd you like a 5-fingered sandwich?
Just like the humble hive.
Holmes, look out! Holmes! Talk later.
Sometimes I forget to play too well. Like I would with the big boys. Every funny weekends. Now what did we learn that time? A barrel curve? All right. I twisted left on switch hold instead of twisting right. That allows you not to pull the brake free. Very good, Weasel. You're making progress. It's not for you yet.
Oh, we're waiting for us. Yeah, quite somebody's a little jumpy.
Yeah, me with a barrel. Yeah, well, I'm getting irritable in my old age. So, boys, let's hear it. How are things with Mr. Holmes? Tom? Tom? How are things with Mr. Holmes?
Well, fine. Probably.
Probably.
Well, we lost him.
What do you mean you lost him?
I
followed him all the way down to Wimpole Street Telegraph Station. I want to frighten nobody from out.
What about the back?
What was in the back? Aye, no, it's the back just fine. No surprise off the back door.
Except once when I had an itch.
Need your eyes for it.
But I ain't to dig for it.
Hey, you won't hang back. So now I think about it, 2 chaps came out, but it wasn't Mr. Holmes and Dr. Watson.
Who was it?
It's just 2 clerks, Luke and Tom. Well, that's Mr. Holmes and Dr. Watson.
Hand me the knife. Box dead. Where did they go, the clerks?
We followed it. We was waiting for Mr. Holmes and Dr. Watson. Well, after that evening call, we went down to Baker Street to see if they'd gone home, and his husband hadn't seen them, so we came back here.
Our job is to keep an eye on Mr. Holmes and help him if he's in trouble. What if he's in trouble right now? Did it occur to you to go looking for them? I mean, after I told you where they'd be going tonight? Tommy, what did I say they'd be going tonight? Paul, what did I say Mr. Holmes would be going tonight? Would someone tell me where Mr. Holmes was going tonight?
The Boys Crown Pub. Bewitched the Boys Crown Pub, and they are in trouble.
You followed him?
Sure. I saw them going to the telegraph office. I saw you out front, and I saw Cousin back. Scratchy. Then out the back door in disguise, so I followed them.
And they went to the Boys Crown?
Blimey, Wiggins, you can tell us we'll be watching the baby tonight.
Seems to me she ain't the one needs watching.
Who asked you, Weasel?
Yeah, it was you, Weasel.
Who asked any of you? If it wasn't for her, well, anyhow, she don't want nothing you could do. Now, what's this about trouble?
They went in disguise. I hid outside the window. I heard there's all kinds of dancing and singing, but then something must have happened because there was a fight, a back fight. And I saw men, big men come out carrying Mr. Holmes and Dr. Watson.
Were they hurt? Where did they go, Cricket?
To a warehouse.
Which one?
It was dark.
Blimey, she can't even remember which one.
That's enough, Tommy.
Christ, Wiggins, whose side are you on? You're the one always saying what a catalog she is and what a pain she is. And now you're taking up for her against me?
Listen, all of you. Maybe she is a tag-along. But if she hadn't tagged along tonight, you wouldn't even know Mr. Holmes was in trouble. Now, either we do this together, or you can go about your business and don't bother looking back. Right. Now, Tommy, you and Pug go to Miss Alice's house and keep an eye on the place. Make sure she stays safe. Weasel, you go back to Baker Street in case they make a house. Tell Mrs. Hudson we're taking care of things. I don't really mean those things. I only say them so the boys will keep in line. And haven't taken our salt.
What's the point of hoping anyone if they don't want you around?
This one over there, stuff all in her hair, running down the streets like they're a road.
If nobody cares when you're lost, what's the point of being known?
Yet for all her noise, she keeps up with her boy, and I worry when she's out there on the road. They'll say I'm a sissy, well maybe that's the case, but she put them in their place.
It could be wrong, they could be kind, this is just me, that is mine.
They can say I'm crazy, well there's just too much at stake, and she's got what it will take. Cricket! We need you. Can you find the warehouse? Good. Go back there and wait. I'm going to go to Scotland Yard. When the police get to take it from there. Good enough? Now let's take care of Mr. Owens.
is where I finally meet the great Sherlock Holmes. Please tell me that the first and possibly last confrontation between myself and my mortal enemy will not be spoiled because he was brought to me unconscious! And this must be his illustrious biographer, Dr. Watson, I presume. Perhaps I need a raincoat.
Make sure it's bulletproof.
So you frighten me to no end, Dr. Watson, and I am so eager to see how this little chapter of your chronicles turns out. What's this? A plot twist, it appears. Just when a faithful sidekick was beginning his clever monologue. Wake him, I want him fully cognizant.
What's more?
I'm sorry. I've exceeded your syllable limit. Wake him. Good morning, Mr. Holmes.
Where am I?
You are at the end of your career. I wanted you to be awake for it.
Very considerate. I assume I am speaking to Professor Moriarty. Oh, I would shake your hand, but mine appear to be tied behind my neck.
A mere formality, I assure you. We will untie them as soon as you are dead. Doctor,
You won't get away with this, you fiend! Sorry, it slipped out.
Doctor, I believe that Mr. Holmes is awaiting your attention.
Professor, they're here!
Who?
The police, Professor. They're at the front door.
Damn, this is inconvenient. Get out, follow momentarily. Doctor, as you were.
How much do you want to give him?
All of it.
But it's full. That's 10 times the usual dose. It can destroy his mind.
Make sure it does.
I don't think I can do this, Professor. It's not
It's all right, Doctor. Take your time. We have plenty of time to think about it. We're in no hurry. I loathe cowards.
No!
Your time will come. Such a shame I can't stay to watch your mind rot, Holmes. But I take comfort in knowing that your best friend will. It's been a pleasure, Dr. Watson. Tell Sherlock Holmes goodbye for me. You won't forget, will you?
Along, too.
Speak, my boy. I have something. Gregson, the straw quickly. They went that way. Someone help Holmes quickly. Nothing. The hallway leads to a dead end. It's like they disappeared. Never mind them. Holmes needs help. What can he allow? It's just... How did you find us? We never would have to work with this little girl. The straw, where is she? I thought she was with you. Not the straw, you were supposed to walk her. Why would she run away? Anyone you know, Dr. Watson?
A guardian angel, I expect. Come on, we've got to get these two to Baker Street and bring that syringe.
How's it going, Doctor?
Actually, it's done. Your friend Mrs. Collins, Dr. Watson. He's only one ingredient away from creating the antidote. Working from a small blood sample. He would have been magnificently coming.
He did. Never thought I'd be glad to see a needle in his arm.
There. You should be fine in about an hour. After all the harm I've done to the great Moriarty, it's nice to be able to work some good for a change.
It worked wonders for me. I even remembered your birthday, Elizabeth. December the 5th.
We'd better get going. Gregson and Lestrade are expecting the two of you at Scotland Yard today. Miss Adler, will you be all right here with Holmes?
I'll be fine, Mr. Watson.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Good then. We should be back in a couple of hours. In the meantime, stay away from the window and don't leave the house. Moriarty is sure to be looking for all of us by now.
Don't worry. Please be careful.
We will.
See you soon.
Stay out of trouble, please. Please. Please get out of here.
Take care of Holmes. See you in a bit.
Oh, sorry. A bit cold. How are you feeling?
Never better. Oh, wait. I was busy yesterday.
You were almost killed.
I should have been. Why wasn't I?
Our friend Cricket followed you and Dr. Watson tonight. When you were kidnapped, she led the police to your rescue. Moriarty's doctor, who created the serum, completed the antidote you started.
I only needed the sodium bisulfate.
Oh, well, apparently it worked.
But this is far too dangerous. I'm sorry to have gotten you involved.
Don't be. I suppose this is what you meant when you said there would be no life to share.
Yes.
I wish you'd give me more credit, Sherlock. You might have been surprised.
There were risks involved. I calculated the odds. It could not have worked.
Calculate the odds. Sherlock. That was not a horse race or a poker game. We were talking about our future.
I know what we were talking about, Elizabeth. Perhaps I wanted the future as much as you did. But I knew what was in store for me. The only way to protect you from it was to keep you from being in it.
Do you have any idea how that felt? How much it hurt?
Yes. What do you know? I wondered if you would.
I've wanted it since you gave it to me. Do you remember what you told me it meant?
Yes, I do. Elizabeth, how have you been? All these years.
What do you mean?
Why didn't you find someone else?
Oh. I found several people, Sherlock. But they weren't the right ones. I know you weren't the right one either. But you were the first. The first I gave my heart to. First to give his back to me.
I never gave mine to anyone else.
Just to make me feel better.
I don't know. Where are you going?
Home. Dr. Watson suggested now to a nice day with friends and sharing person. Pack some things.
Well, it is far too dangerous for you to go alone.
It won't be the first time. There are policemen outside your door. One of them can escort me home. I'll meet them out there later.
I don't like it.
You're too weak to do anything about it. You and Dr. Watson worry about taking care of yourselves.
Elizabeth. I'm sorry.
You could have tried to love me, Sherlock. You could have tried to love me.
I did.
Yes, Ben.
There's reports of rioting in the West End, Professor.
There's rioting everywhere. Listen, it's glorious.
You didn't order it in the West End, Professor. We don't have territory over there.
And what of it? As long as it achieves my ends, I don't care about them.
Our own gang set fire to the shops on Regent Street, Professor. They wasn't supposed to burn them. They pay protection money steady every
To
quarter.
hell with protection money and to hell with London. I want Sherlock Holmes. And if the city goes up in flames to flush him out, then so be it.
There's more, Professor. There's talk among the men, sir. Some of the boys are saying you
and about my grip. Do you think I'm losing it? Do you? Holmes! Do you think you'll trap me while my back is turned? Do you? You think you're clever, but I'll have you yet. Do you hear me? I will have you yet!
One painful thorn in my side.
One man alone succeeded in testing me. One man who's wounded my pride.
The game is beginning.
But who is winning? Soon he will see that it's me. At last, Moriarty's fate is in my hands. Ironic, isn't it, this game? The odds so even, the stakes so high.
There can be just one survivor. I'll be remembered forever for this.
There is a genius and wonder, the smile he has everyone under.
I smile at his screams as he dies in my dreams every night.
Confines me.
Then and only then am I complete.
Somehow reminds me
I'll leave London, no stone unturned, my quest. I won't rest until he breaks.
if it takes my last breath, I must.
The death of just one man will set me free.
Well, what did it say? It has begun. I've got to get back to home. Join me to a little business there. I'll get you over right in town. Right behind you. Doctor, do not remain here. It might be safer. Be careful, all of you.
Thank you. Yes, Lord.
Not at all, ma'am.
Oh, excuse me, Sergeant, but my house is in this direction.
Oh, we know, ma'am. But Professor Moriarty's this way. It isn't safe enough for a lady to be out alone. The professor doesn't want you to get there.
Run in the door!
Thank you. Take it down. All right. Give me. Oh, thanks for anything to happen to her while you was around.
That's better.
Oh, you let her go.
Oh, I don't think so, ma'am. We don't want to break anybody's back now, do we?
Bring her.
Mr. Nigel came, I found this on the way.
It's Elizabeth!
Oh my God, I should never have let her go.
But Holmes, you said she never did.
Nobody is capable of love, and I let her go!
Well, granted you weren't thinking to this, no, but...
Good evening. So nice of you to come. This one tried to help her escape. Well, aren't you the busybody? And you, my dear, are becoming a positive nuisance.
You leave her alone. She's just a child.
And you are in no position to make demands, Miss Adler. However, she may be of some use. After all, how would you like to do something for me, young lady? Now you listen to me. You seem to be so good at running about and finding people. You go find Sherlock Holmes, and you give him a message from me. You tell him that I have the lady, and if he wants to see her, he will bring himself to me. Do we understand each other?
It's all right. Go find Mr. Holmes. Give him this for me, please. Now, don't cry. Be a big girl. I'll be the last. Spend half each other, remember. Go find Sherlock, please.
I'll make sure he gets it. Sherlock, do all these clients call you that? Could it be that you are more than just a client? This gets more and more intriguing.
What are you doing?
What am I doing? Why, I am destroying his world, my dear, as he has done mine. Oh yes, he has. Sherlock Holmes and I have played cat and mouse for years. It has been an intellectual match beyond description. Oh, the stories I could tell you. But now, because of you and your brother, he has found his chance to bring everything I've worked for crumbling around me. He has left me with nothing. I'm glad to leave him with the same.
He won't let you.
He can't stop me. Look around you, it's already happening. London is burning. The streets are filled with chaos. Sherlock Holmes is failing. And soon, his failure will be complete.
Stay away from me.
Poor sweet child. You came to him for help, and look where it got you. He should never have let you out of his sight. He knows that. Do you love him? Do you? How sweet.
Tell them to send every man they can spare to the old furniture factory on Fleet Street. Did he do this? Watson!
the reception, then the destruction. Welcome to the reception.
Yes.
Get them out.
But help me, us!
Finally attained.
Where is she?
Relax, Holmes. You will be with her in a little while.
I swear, Moriarty, if you've harmed her...
If I harmed her, if I have, Holmes, it's because you sent her straight to me! How does that feel? How does it feel to know that you failed? You've done very well. With a few minor exceptions, you've managed to bring my little empire crumbling around me. On that score, I congratulate you. But you have not won the game. You have made some sacrifices to get what you want. London, for one, and Elizabeth.
Where is she? What have you done with her? What have you...
No. She was a very brave girl. And beautiful. But she did help bring about my ruin. No. Does it help to know that she loved you? Oh, yes, she did. She told me so. And you loved her too, didn't you? Yes, I thought so. I thought so. I hope you told her, Holmes. I do hope that you didn't let her die, thinking you didn't. So, this is how the game ends. A stalemate. Both sides end up with nothing. You failed, Sherlock Holmes. You failed London. You failed Elizabeth. And you failed yourself. I'm so glad that I could be here to see it. I suppose that I do at least owe you this.
I hope you burn in hell.
Oh, I will. But I'm not letting you send me there.
I have a hunch they don't understand it.
This will be fast. No questions at all? Oh, no, right question.
Did you all have to speak English? I mean, learn the English King's language? I know you can't all be speaking that. No, I don't say that.
We have
But you did it well. I mean, really well. Almost got you English.
How long do you come to practice with this? Rehearsing?
Yeah. Okay, rehearsals for this particular production have been for about the past 2 months. We did 1 month of vocal rehearsals with cast and nothing but learn the songs and sing them over and over, over and over, over. And then our director, who was not able to be with us tonight, Carborth, came down in April, the 1st of April from New York, and worked very intensely the last month on all the blocking and the wonderful things that you saw up here tonight. So we have put these guys through the ringer about the past 60 days to get where we are.
Where does it go from now?
Right across the way. That's the open-ended question. I mean, from here, the purpose of doing this tonight was to see the new stuff that Hans and I have done about the past year, and seeing these guys do it was just amazing. And from here, we worked to try to get it into a theater someplace, either a regional theater production. Mark is going to be shopping it up in New York a little bit with some of the theaters he works with up there. So Hans and I hold our breath and write letters and see what happens.
I'm from New York, and
oh, hi, how are you?
not anymore down here, but why are you shooting for off-Broadway and not Broadway? Because we've seen many Broadway shows.
Keep the microphone for a while.
Yes, so this is picked up, maybe off-Broadway, whatever. Will any of the cast go with it?
I actually just mean that we would love to have take the whole cast with us. I don't know if you guys can get plane tickets to New York.
Another New Yorker here. A lot of Broadway, and you really do belong in Broadway. Absolutely.
Got a question for Brett. In your notes, you mentioned that you had a receipt that had some lines on the back of it. Do you remember what those lines are?
There were 3 things, and if I remember, 2 of them didn't get in because they were kind of dumb. But one of them was Holmes' possible love interest Elizabeth ? Something like that. And I ended up sticking with that name. The other one had something to do with the irregulars, and to be honest, I cannot remember the third. How anticlimactic that answer was. But of the 3 things, it was neat to see that the 2 of them were slightly off base, got modified, and one has stayed in the show for 7 years.
Good song.
Projection. I don't need this. Could the cast maybe mention how much they actually gave up to be in this production?
They would love to mention what they gave up to.
I'll talk. I love to talk. Well, several of us, 11 of us, have actually been involved with this show for 3 years now. And we can remember starting reading this in Brett's living room, eating jelly beans around East 97 with a ferret running around. Through this production, I mean, literally these last 2 weeks have been every night, 5, 6 hours a night, after all of us have worked our day jobs. And it's just been wonderful. I mean, we love working together. We love Brett and Hans and Mike Vermillion, who was our vocal arranger, and Mark Carborth and Pat Logan, who did everybody's given so selflessly. Pat Engler, where is she? Is she here? One of our cast members' mothers, and she did all of these costumes free of charge. So just lots of hours, lots of practice, lots of stress, but it's been wonderful. We wouldn't do it if we didn't love it. So I don't know if that was specific enough, but there you have it.
Is there any other input from the cast? Yes, Frank.
I'd just like to take the opportunity to say this time we actually opened the door more so by involving a lot of our UCF students who we are very fortunate. As well, it was just the opportunity to actually open the door to this cast, and it just overwhelms me. I was one of the original 11, and just to see the opportunity and how much this can actually expand. I mean, can you imagine a whole team, a whole cast of irregulars? It's just a whole expansion. Really kind of blows you away. It wasn't there, and I can't imagine doing this year and not having a regular star. It kind of freaks me out, quite frankly.
Are there any other questions?
I have a question. How does this performance compare to last night? And also, how do you find this facility?
I think the first thing we noticed, it sounds funny, but you laughed at all the right places. Last night's audience, of course, was wonderful for anybody who's coming back tonight. There were a few times when things would be said or delivered on stage that would crack up the audience, and Brett and I would look at each other and I'd go, nice line. We'd laugh last night. That was one of the differences, is that you guys would write along and the cast was backstage, I heard earlier, waiting for the delivery of a certain line, and they'd go, oh, here comes, shh. And then you'd laugh, and they could hear you go, it worked. So that was great, so thank you. A wonderful audience, and with all of that, I forgot the second half of your question. The facility. The facility is amazing. The acoustics in here are fantastic. It was to support a concert setting, not to support shows, but the staff and everyone in this facility did a wonderful job with lighting it, getting the sound right with the microphones and the ambient, and everything else just pulled together very, very nicely. So we actually love working here, and it's actually a fairly decent sized stage for a show. To have this much room, a lot of times it can be smaller, especially when you have a proscenium, that cuts it off even more. One of the challenges, we had the wing space to do a lot of those scene changes and on and off stage and those transitions. So there were some of those challenges that we overcame with the help of our set designer, Patrick Logan, who is also... But I think something else that really helped Brett and myself was to have a house this small. It seats around 250 with the way it's configured now. We can really get a feel for your reactions when we're sitting in the back as to how you're emotionally kind of writing the whole thing. And we're kind of taking notes and watching and listening to how things are going and what's working and what's not working and that type of thing. So in a venue this size, it really helps to be able to feel that. So loved it.
So from the first performance you ever did back in '97 till now, how much has it changed? What's been added? What's been taken away?
The question was how much has changed from the original reading that we did in '97. Suffice to say a lot. The very first time Elizabeth didn't die, there was no cricket. There were very few. The irregulars were there, but they didn't play nearly the role they do now. No locket. The cast knows. I'm having trouble remembering. I'll leave it for Brett to finish that.
More music.
Yes.
Part of what's been the fun of doing this is adding things each time we go along. And Hans and I can sit in the audience and see where we need maybe another scene or something. And to the cast, continual surprise, we keep doing it during rehearsals. And bringing in new songs and new scenes. And Cricket and Wiggins got one this past Saturday. They did it tonight. And that is part of the fun of it. It's about 30 minutes have been added since the first show. And it's stuff that's spread all throughout. Even we had added one of the irregular scenes the one in Act 2. And it was so much fun to watch them do that, and we just had such a blast in rehearsal with them that while I was sitting there watching one night, ended up writing more stuff for them to do, the whole thing with him in the pants that he's got around his neck. And watched them, and they inspired us to add a lot of the stuff that we've added. And I said this last night, hearing Gary say Moriarty's lines is so much fun that it was easier to write as we went along, as we needed stuff. And the same thing, Kevin became Holmes for me in such a way that it was very easy to write the new stuff.
So why did Elizabeth have to die?
We got that question last night, so we'll have to answer it.
Try to answer it better. Somebody had to go. Believe it or not, in the very first time, as Gary said, this was ever read with Kevin and Gary and myself with the jelly beans. And Nigel was the one, honestly, that I thought was going to die in that factory fight scene. And no offense to Brian, but Nigel didn't carry the emotional weight that one of the lead characters did. I mean, Brian carries it, but Nigel, the character, didn't carry it. It was something we tried to see if it worked, and the reactions that we got the very first time was the same one we got tonight, that we listen for every time, and so it's just such an emotional thump that we kept it in. Did that answer it all? Okay.
Yeah, if anyone had to go, I think Elizabeth had to go.
Sorry. I'll tell you though, one of the ways that the reason for that impact so much is because of the way Elizabeth was portrayed by Sue. I mean, she's such a strong and independent woman. The relationship that she has both with Holmes and that she develops with Cricket, and Cassie has done an amazing job being for the past 3 years. Once you get to love Elizabeth as much as you do, then having her have to expire just carries that much more weight.
Hans, where did you score this and mix it?
At home. I have a series of samplers and synthesizers and computers and keyboard and the whole thing. And over the course of the last few years, my wife has been generous enough to let me to continue to buy equipment to support my habit. And it's enabled me to get to about as close to live sounding instruments as you can. And I sit at home hours after hours late at night just because I love it. But it takes like you know, flute and then oboe and then strings and then you go back and you tweak it. It's a very long process, but I love it. And it makes it, we had to do it that way because we can't afford an orchestra. And it's the sound I wanted, so I just sort of evolved, building it little by little and continuing that way for the last probably 3.5, 4 years. Oh, and yeah, we recorded this, the concept CD was recorded at our house, in our studio bedroom. One microphone, my computer, some outboard gear, and there you go. And it's available to download across the world.
And my next question would be, is there more underscoring that you would like to do throughout the entire piece?
Absolutely, yep. A lot of the underscoring that was in tonight's production is about 2 to 3 weeks old. As it was staged, and we knew a lot of the big pregnant pauses were movement and scene changes based on this configuration on the stage, I realized, okay, we need about 15 seconds there for these guys to get the walls out of the way, or for the irregulars to come in and be preset before scene or whatever. So I'd go home and just reorchestrate and take some bits and pieces of themes that are used throughout the show and create little snippets for them to allow us that scene change to happen. And absolutely, I've talked about this a lot, we'd love to have a lot more continuous underscoring throughout a lot of the actions, through some of the dialogues and that sort of thing, definitely. Probably 1 or 2 more than we'll have to talk about.
How many of the cast are from UCF and how many are Disney cast members?
UCF people raising
None.
Something about the Disney folks that work at Disney. And kind of to Rick's point, when we were able to this time open it up, we opened it up because we were logistically able to, and we were able to get venues and hold rehearsals off of Disney property. It allowed all this extra talent to come in that is fresh and new to the show, and really just took us leaps and bounds beyond where we have been in the past. So it's a huge shot in the arm for us. To the right. My right, your left.
Hi. I'm in the process of writing the book and hopefully directing an opera that is being written right now that I'm helping with. The problem we're finding is getting funding. How did you go about getting this venue, getting the funding to write the music?
Our hands and knees. It's one of the miracles, we call them little Holmes miracles that have happened all along the road to getting us to tonight. There's no money has changed hands really. None of the actors are paid, none of the crew or the staff that put it together have been paid. The Institute, you know, in conjunction with you guys eating dinner at Seasons, allowed us to have the facility and 2 nights of performances. So, no budget, period, 0. Good luck. Okay. One more, then we'll have to wrap up.
It's a 10, 15-minute question and answer period. Anybody have a question for the cast or the writers? Hans Bora? I'll give that to the writers.
Where did the romantic interest come from, or where was the idea to have it in the show? Being a big man. It's kind of a given in a theatrical production of this magnitude that there has to be one to engage the audience's interest. It wasn't written with that in mind, but it would be. I just thought it would be fun to explore, especially for Holmes, because in the stories there never was one. So it gave us a chance to kind of go someplace that the stories didn't quite reach and explore the character a little bit more. In the show, it wound up being a lot more fun just to explore that relationship and have them play off of each other, thinking of the kind of woman that Holmes would have had to be attracted to and the kind of patience she would have had to be attracted to him back. So it ended up being a lot of fun.
Wonderful show. Heartbreaking to see Elizabeth Pine.
I know several of the cast have been involved since almost the beginning. How much input did the cast have in developing the characters?
Do as it's told. Actually, quite a bit, especially in the latest incarnation, because Hans and I had about, I guess, 9 months or a year off in between. To talk about the character development, and we knew from the last concert production we had at the Civic that we wanted to see more of certain things. We've gotten this kind of feedback within the past 3 years. We did some new irregular stuff, extended some of the songs, and then once we got it into the workshop, a good example is the Irregulars, which I would like to applaud them right now. We had so much fun watching them in rehearsals that we kind of decided on the spot, I thought it would be neat if they just said more stuff. So the whole bit with Pug's hands was written at a rehearsal one night just because we wanted to see more of the Irregulars in there. And everything that we did, the Irregulars, the entire cast would just kind of take one step farther. Gary did some wonderful things with Moriarty, and it became fun to write this dialogue, and I started hearing all of their voices in my head as I was writing it. And I hope they stop now that
Anything else? Other questions? Anything? Yes.
Why did you choose not to use
Holmes' trademark of a pipe.
They didn't do props.
Because Brett loves to public speak, I'll go ahead and follow that one. Although he's very good, so I'm not not sure why he's self-conscious about it. The reason we didn't use the typical hat and pipe was because of the darker edge that we took to the entire show, and to add that element back into it is, the term we use is a little cartoony. It's what everyone is stereotypical of what you're used to seeing, but this treatment is not, and the whole show has a very different feeling than probably what most people are used to seeing. So we definitely wanted to, you get into these homes with the long jacket and that type of thing. We thought that was far enough. We didn't want to keep going further if we really didn't feel the need. And it also sort of would have detracted a little bit if he came out of the opening with the pipe and the hat. It would sort of set a different tone for the whole thing if we went that way. Oh, the cast is all, that's what I say. A lot we haven't told you.
Why did you decide to end in a sense, the Holmes and Moriarty relationship? I realize we didn't actually see Moriarty expire, but in most of the stories, one of the things that I always found interesting in the relationship was that it was always a stalemate, and they never really best each other, and Moriarty would just walk away, just alluding Holmes would be trapped. Why did you choose, instead of, once again, they'll fight again another day to seemingly end that relationship?
Well, to be perfectly honest, primarily audience satisfaction. It was enough that Sue had to die, that if... the way that the show was, we've always described it as a roller coaster, especially the second act, and it just goes and it picks up speed, and these guys don't stop until we get to the end, and some kind of payoff is necessary. And granted, you don't see him die, you don't know if he does or not. The point of it is, it ended up kind of being a stalemate, because even if he flew off the thing, he took away everything that Holmes had. So it's not a happy ending regardless, and to give the audience the satisfaction of seeing Holmes get something.
Any questions on the cast? Folks want to know, how long has someone been with it, and along both sides of things. Any questions on the cast? Or
Did y'all have fun?
I'm a Leo.
I noticed somebody guessed who was playing dual parts.
We're very talented.
Occasionally we do what we're told.
It's better for a producer to see that that's possible, because every actor represents a salary. And it's a better production.
speaking of salaries, I will mention that the entire cast and crew are all volunteer, and everyone has given up their time, so I want to say a big
How many more performances? Just one?
Tomorrow night, we open, we close. Yep.
The beginning and the end.
The music was pre-recorded. Now, do you plan on making changes to the music and
Yes. Eventually, of course, we'd like it to be a live performance anywhere from 20 to 40, if that's possible. But things like this and financial reasons, absolutely. Yeah. We'd love it to be live music.
So you plan to make changes with the music?
Oh, changes to it? Yes, I think we saw some things tonight that we want to adjust. The orchestration, I'm not an arranger or an orchestrator, but I did what you heard tonight, but I know I'm not a professional at it. But it's sort of my interpretation of how I like it arranged, but I would love to be able to give it to a professional orchestrator arranger and have him take it and mold it into a correctly arranged piece.
I know that the dreams there, but is Disney any interest in carrying this to Broadway, sort of like Beauty and the Beast and other shows like that?
present to the public to say, what do you think? And hopefully producers will see this, get your reaction, and then let the financial wheels begin to spin. But all we can really, as artists, all we can really do is go, this is what we have, what do you think? Because we're obviously poor.
Do you think to go to somewhere like New York with a show like this?
This is why Pat's closing. It's working.
You would have to change a lot of the story to be more along the lines of the Holmes stories themselves.
Is the question, do you think we have to modify the show to put it on Broadway?
Yeah.
No, we think the story is one of the most solid elements of the show. Oh, the scenery. I mean, the story. Sorry. Yeah.
Patrick, can we take this stuff to New York?
Absolutely. This was just to give you an idea of that we're kind of in different locations, but absolutely, we've talked turntables, we've talked many things. It's all about getting the interest, raising the money, and making it happen. Because we're ready, we just need that extra support. But everything will change. Everything will go up a notch. It's all about progress. Other questions? No?
Any other parents of the cast members here besides me?
Parents, raise your hand. Parents, raise your hand. That was my mom with the question.
My dad is here as well. He's back seeing us for the first time. Thank you.
Lori's mom's costume is Lori.
Again, I'd like to thank you for coming. We really appreciate your support. You're all invited to go over to the gathering place to have a little bit of conversation and perhaps some food drinks. More importantly, we really would like your comments. As I say, good or bad, everything helps. Thank you again.